even though most of them, they don't even speak Arabic except the Quran, but they all recited exactly the same way you did. No difference. So we'll ask, is there any other book like that on the planet?
No.
Is there anybody else that can come up with a book where more than 20 million people have memorized the whole thing? 20 million people memorized the entire Quran walking on this earth today. Now, if you ask, has anybody memorized the book from this religion or that religion, most of them will say, I never even read it all. And if you ask them to recite it exactly like somebody else, there's no way, especially if they're in another country with another language. But I've met people from China, Russia, South America, Canada, England, the Belgium, the Netherlands, the area there. Everywhere I went, they said the Quran the same way. No extra words, didn't leave anything out. And none of them know each other. So this is one of the proofs. It's called an external proof, by comparing it outside. Another proof is to compare it on the inside. How do we compare it on the inside? Well, if it says in one page that, for instance, all dogs are red, all right? We already know that's stupid, but suppose it said that. But another page it said all dogs are blue. Well, that'd be a contradiction, and we'd say, okay, that page and this page contradict each other. That's before we even use common sense to realize that dogs aren't red or blue. This is an internal comparison. Now, in the internal comparison, we find something even more amazing, that actually Allah says in the Quran, if you are in doubt about this Quran, bring a book like it. That's a very strong thing to say. Then in another place in the Quran, he said, just bring 10 chapters like it. And then finally he said, just bring one chapter like it. And nobody ever did it yet. Do you know the smallest chapter of the Quran? Anybody? What is it?
Kawthar.
Al-Kawthar. Can you recite it?
Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar.
Well, now wait. What's the rest of it? She said, Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar.
Fasalli li rabbika wanhar.
Inna shani akahu. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Now, you guys all went to the same school, but I didn't go there, did I? And we never rehearsed this, did we? So, how did we all know how it goes? And how did we all know it's the smallest one? And imagine how small it is, and nobody can bring anything like it. Now, what I've done is to take one thing to go to another thing to go to another thing. What I started with was the Prophet Muhammad. Then we talked about his message. Then we talked about the Quran. Then we talked about how we compare the Quran. And you can keep going, and we can talk about the miracle of the language itself within the Quran. We can talk about the way that there's no other Arabic document even close to it in beauty, in cadence, in style. We can talk about the literary content of the Quran that, again, is so impressive that any time they teach the Arabic language to any degree, they refer to the Quran. Is there any other book like that?
No.
But there were other ways we could have gone too. When we started to talk about Muhammad, we could have begun to talk about his hadith, the things that he said and he taught, the things that make sense. We could have even talked about something called prophecies. Now, this is an external type where you're taking the content of something and then looking around to see if it happened. The prophecies of Muhammad prove Muhammad. The prophecies of the Quran prove the Quran. But I want to now move to the third thing that we talked about, which was maybe the most important of all for people to know. What is this all about? Why are we talking about Allah and Muhammad and Quran and proving things? Because there's a message, a big message that we want to get out to the people, a beautiful message. And it comes under the heading of what is your deen? And our answer is what?